You're now looking at an application that we built using our NotebookLM notebook to analyze videos according to our core philosophy. This application is ready to share and or publish as we have verified that it works. We did it by vibe coding our NotebookLM instead of having extensive coding knowledge. And we will demonstrate that in this video. We will start by grounding the truth in NotebookLM. And what we mean by that is either creating or using an existing NotebookLM notebook. And you want this NotebookLM notebook to represent the exact truth of your philosophy or the exact truth of what you want to make the comparison to. You are looking at a NotebookLM notebook that represents a 52-week marketing system that represents the entirety of thought of one marketer's view of marketing. Depending on the purpose of your application, what you're going to need is a synthesis prompt, and you're going to need a synthesis prompt to get all of the information out of NotebookLM. And you can use this particular prompt in order to adapt to your situation, or you can go to Gemini to get a prompt. In order to get the prompt, you can go to Gemini and you're going to write something in plain language that looks like the text that we have here. And when you do that, you are going to want to use the Pro version in order to get the query. So we have our master prompt. We're going to assume that you have used Gemini to get your master prompt. We're now going to copy this prompt and we're going to head to NotebookLM. We're going to customize the chat. We're going to make sure that the chat is what we want. If you want to make it custom, you can, or you can leave the default. If you want a longer response, you can get one. And typically when you get a synthesis document, you want a longer response. We're going to save the custom chat. We are now going to put in our prompt. And with our master prompt, we can then click enter. We'll then await for NotebookLM to give us the synthesis of the information that we have in our source area. So we now have a master prompt based on the documents in our source area. What we can now do is we can save this prompt to a note. Once we save it to a note, we can then export it to a Google Doc. And our system prompt is now saved. We now want to go to our favorite search engine and we want to type in Google AI Studio. You're going to look for a Google result. You can then click inside of Google AI Studio. Depending on when you see this video, you will see a pricing tab for Google AI Studio. You will notice that there is a free tier to Google AI Studio. The difference between the free and the paid tier is that on a paid tier, the content, whether you or your customer uses with the application, will not be used to improve the Google products. In terms of payment, you will start building free of charge with generous limits and then scale up with pay-as-you-go pricing as customers begin to use your application. Once you've signed in, we can then get started in Google AI Studio for free. That's going to open up into the AI Studio. You will notice that we are not using an API key at this point, so you are not incurring any costs when you build the application. We're now going to go to the build area. And depending on when you see this video, you may see a splash screen about the new UI. We're going to skip it. And it's here where you will build your app without code. What you'll notice is that you can upload files from your Google Drive, you can upload files, or you can take images with a camera in order to place inside of the dialog box. We're just going to cut and paste our prompt direct into the dialog box. We are going to need 2 app building tools to add to our prompt. And you're going to see those app building tools here in this area. There is a scroll feature where you can scroll through them. And for the app that we are building, based on our context, we are going to need a video understanding tool, which we will click on in order to add to the window. We will also need the transcribe audio. Now, if we were going to have the app generate speech, we would use a generate speech button. However, these 2 tools are the only ones that we will need. We now have our master prompt. We can now send the prompt in order to begin to build our application. And AI Studio will then begin to create our application. And when it's complete, it will give your app a name. You will see the coding happening on the left side menu in real time. One of the things you're going to notice is that in some cases, you may run into an error. In this case, the app did run into an error. And AI Studio will tell you that 3 errors occurred Now, we don't have to know what those errors are. We don't need to know the code. We're just going to ask the app to fix the errors. And then AI Studio will then begin to attempt to fix the errors. And AI Studio has now fixed the errors and states that our application is now live and ready for testing. So to test our application, we're going to upload an audio in the import source area. And the app actually does require a video, so we're going to upload a video. And we're now going to run the audit on the video inside of our application. Now the test did cause another error. So we're going to need to click Fix on the error so that AI Studio can analyze and fix the error. We are now ready to test our app again. We will now run the audit on our app. The AI has found one more error, and we will then fix the error. We are now ready to test our app again. We will now run the audit on our video file. And the app is working properly. It provides an audit score on the video that has been uploaded and given us suggestions on what we would need in order to get the app to reflect the source of truth from our NotebookLM notebook. So now that you know that your app is operational and it's working the way you intended, you can share the application. And when you share the application, you are sharing the entire dashboard. You're sharing your coding, you're sharing the experience that you've had building the application with others. They will then need their own account to AI Studio. They will then log into their AI Studio account and then get access to your interface. If you choose to publish the application, this is when you will need to connect an API, will be payment as you go. As other individuals use your application, you will be charged in arrears for use of the API. In many cases, you may have a free allotment of Google Cloud credits if they are still available to you and if they have not been used. Now, if you don't have an API key or you don't have billing set up, in order to have an API key to actually run your application, you can click on the settings button. You can then go to billing support. You will then see billing support. And in most cases, you may not have set up a billing account. What you'll want to do first is you'll want to go to the overview area. You will then, depending on where you live in the world, if you see this dialog, you'll want to click on free product offers. You will see that there is an offer for the free tier. If you scroll all the way up to the top, in some cases, you will be eligible for a $300 welcome credit to spend over 90 days on Google Cloud products. It's fully possible that you may have accepted the trial without knowing exactly what the credits were going to be for, but it's a good idea to check with Google to determine if you were still eligible for the $300 welcome credit. Okay, so with that, thanks, and I will see you in another video.